Good afternoon. This is Ron Brown. I am recording a short video just to update you on the impulse reaction scan. A customer asked me if I would do a separate one for ETFs, and I did. I'll show you where they are and how that works. I've updated the add-on, so when you download the add-on, you'll have the new file structure. Also, I'm going to use the impulse reaction scan with one of my user smart groups, the Wyckoff demand scan. So I'll show you that also. This is the 1st of August. We're into a new month. We'll see what that brings. It's been a kind of a brutal month for some of the AI related stocks. In fact, many of those stocks are well off of their highs. As always, the market is your teacher. We're learning that every day. Just a quick mention here that any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. So here we are. This is what I showed last week, the impulse reaction scans, the daily or the end of day and the intraday, and I've added the same thing for the ETFs. So if you click on that, this will locate all the ETFs which meet the same requirements as last week, and then there's an intraday. So you can see how they're doing at the end of the day, and then you can see if those same ETFs are following through on the next day. But in addition to putting them there, I decided to make a separate category, and I put them all the way down there. Category number 31, and if you open that up, it's got the for stocks. The top two are for stocks, and then I labeled the ETFs down here. So I'm going to go ahead and look at these ETFs. Since I'm doing this on Saturday, there is no intraday information. But this is what it looks like from Friday's close. You can see the XLE is on top based upon the combo ranking. And I'll bring up the correct chart here. And you can see that the short-term trend is down because it's gone white from green, but this may be a buying opportunity for the energy sector because there is a test and a confirmation of that test plus an effort to rise. So had you been watching this particular ETF during market hours, you would have seen the 2 days of good moves. First the test and then the confirmation of that, an up bar closing near the high. After a test confirms strength, then there's an effort to rise bullish sign. You can see the short-term trend is still down, and it shows down here also. But the intermediate term and the long-term trends are both up, so consequently, this qualifies and passes the test. Let's look at, well, that's an energy one. This is energy also, NASDAQ, oil and gas. Another energy one, so you can see all of these work pretty similarly. I'll just flip through the first ones, and if you look at the chart, you'll see they should have a similar pattern. So lots of choices here. Okay, that was the last one, I guess, on the energy. Utilities is at the bottom. You can see the number of days. Well, you can see the crossover days here on the 3-6. So the energy XLE actually crossed over 3 days ago. And if you look right here, make this larger, zoom in, see 1, 0, 1, 2. I can't really see the histogram, but here's the crossover right here. You can see it here. Put the crosshair on, and even though you can't see this down here, you can clearly see that it crossed up here, and then it held above that and continued to go up. This was a dark candle because it was being sold into on the gap, but it opened lower here, and buyers were stepping in at that point. So anyway, you can look at this if you're an ETF trader. You might find some good ideas in there every day. Let's take a look at the Apple Bull 2X. Apple took a beating on earnings, as you can see, and that shifted the short-term trend to down. It says so up here, and also you can see the huge move down, but after the sellers were washed out, buyers stepped in and started moving it out. But with the short-term trend down, that's going to take a while to repair, but I think Apple may be worth watching here. Let's just go to the if I can remember the symbol after all these years. Okay, here's the actual chart itself, and you can see that it looks pretty much like the other one, but it might be worth watching to see if this holds and starts moving up. Now I want to flip over to the stock side of this, and rather than looking at all securities, there's only 137, but you can narrow it down to let's go into actually I'm going to go do it this way. I keep getting confused today. I'm going to go to the Wyckoff scans and go to the demand scans. Higher volume, wider spread. You can see that these stocks have a high volume. The spread's wide or above average. The close is very high or high. There's 224 in here. So these stocks are showing heavy demand as of Friday. I'm going to make a group from this. Whoops, how did I do that? WYCKOFF, demand, scan. My keyboard was a little off center is how I did that. Okay, so I'm making a group out of this. I'll generate the index. And now I'm going to go back down here to the impulse reaction. And I have narrowed all of these stocks that are showing above average demand on the 31st using the Wyckoff demand scan group. And these also are stocks that have pulled back on the short term. You can see the short term group is down here. It's also says so up here, but this is an opportunity to find stocks that are showing strong demand on a day and they pulled back in the short term. So we're looking for good setups here. And this is a low volume test with a bullish candle on pretty heavy volume. And the short term trend is down, but it looks like it may resume. It's just one idea. There's all kinds of smart groups you can use, or user smart groups of mine. Here's another one. Plains GP Holding LP liquid propane. It's been a nice impulse run, and here's your reaction right here. Nice run. You can see right here, I'll put the crosshair on. It meant the same conditions here. Then it went up for a day, went negative again on the short term. And here it is again pulling back. Now back in this area on the short term was also negative in the intermediate term. But you can see the first three that I've looked at are all nice setups for continuation. And we know there's demand because I used the Wyckoff scan and made a group. Now this one doesn't look very good. Scorpio tankers, it's too loose, it's all over the place. These other ones have had really nice impulse moves. And here's your pullback. Let's go beyond. Let's go to Omega Health. Let's had a nice impulse move up and then a pullback here. And then it had a nice move up and a pullback here. This is kind of a wavy impulse move, but here's your pullback. That's an expensive stock. BTR. Nice impulse move. Here's the reaction. And we're looking at a test right now. If this test is confirmed, there's a good chance it'll go up. Apple shows up in this list because it had a nice impulse move and then short-term collapse here. But it's a bullish candle. Don't like this one so much. Don't like that one. Too loose. We like the tight ones. Too loose. So the top ones, based upon the combo, seem to be the best. Going back to the first one, look at the nice impulse move here, and then the reaction, but we're getting a test. Okay, that's it for this video. Just some ideas, and I wanted to show you the ETF impulse scans, where they're located, and so on. All of this new information is in the current add-on, so just go ahead and download it, and you'll have all of this. Thanks for listening, and have a good weekend.